Today we're talking about some of the most important relationships we have in our lives, the ones with our friends. I've got my favorite girlfriends here today, and we're learning how to build and maintain lifelong relationships. So grab your besties and join us. Naturally Beautiful starts right now. I'm Natalie Berthold, and welcome to Naturally Beautiful. Today is all about celebrating our closest and most meaningful relationships, and I am so excited because my guests are some of my closest girlfriends. Joining me at the Beauty Roundtable is founder and CEO of Live Fearless and Free, Terry Cole, my very good friend, relationship expert and founder of Outrageously Happy Relationships, Kavita Patel, another very good friend of mine, and family constellation therapist and Reiki master, Natalie Berthold, another dear, dear, dear friend of mine. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so happy that you're here. I'm like, woohoo! This is awesome. I'm very excited. So let's jump right into girl talk, okay?
Let's do
it. Okay, so what do you think is the best quality or like the #1 quality you look for in a friend? Kavita, I'm going to start with you.
So I think it's just the willingness to want to work it out,
Yeah.
right? So some of my friends that I've had since I was in high school, right?
Yeah.
We've been through it all, through the like boy stuff, or you know, she went out with the one that I wanted to go out with.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right, all of us have had that.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, we've just had distance at times when we went off to college, and then like feeling like, oh, she's not paying attention to me, or she's feeling that, and just knowing that we can talk about it, communicate with one another, and work it through, and know that we're in it to win it together
I love
as
that.
friends.
I love that. I think actually I think you and I have even talked about that before when I've had a fight with a friend or something and they weren't willing to work it out, and I'm just like, what's the deal here? I need a friend that can stick with it and work it out.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that.
You're running a marathon together.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, what about you, Natalie? What do you think?
I think for me, most important is that a friend can blow smoke up my butt and tell me exactly what I want to hear. No.
That's important too.
I really like that. Very important.
That's a nice visual.
Thank you.
There
we go. No, I think, you know, I've thought about this a lot, and I think it evolves as you evolve. And for me right now, it's just having a friendship that is at ease. I mean, life gets complicated when you get older, and it's hectic, and I just want to go into Nitty's living room and just slouch down on
My
her couch.
friends call me Nitty, for those of you who
Sorry.
don't know. My friends call me Nitty.
I want to be in my yoga pants. I don't want to name drop. I don't want to, you know, dress to impress. I just want ease and low maintenance around it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that.
What you're saying, though, I think is really important because it's as you evolve.
Yeah.
Those friendships change, and when you're younger, there's almost like this need. You're the new girl in school, or you want to be with the cool clique. As you get older, your friendships deepen, and you want to just be able to be yourself. Just have no makeup on and not care, and not be like, what are they thinking about my skin? Like, you know.
No, it's true. I always say that. I mean, I think we all say this actually, because I've talked to all of you all the time. I feel like your friends are your chosen family. And that's. I mean, I love my family, and I have a great relationship with my family. But on top of that, it's like I get to choose you guys to be part of my family.
It's like layers of family, right? Like the more you can add to it, and friendship is absolutely that.
Isn't that so great? I love that. And I know you already know the answer to my answer to this next question, but I want to ask you ladies, what is your favorite thing to do with your friends? Now, I know you already know that my favorite thing is to have a girls' night and have everybody come over and we're going to talk and we're going to make vision boards.
Vision boards
and
is your
as
thing.
nerdy as it sounds, someone's always ending up crying and having a breakthrough, so it's fine. Okay.
I sit there cutting stuff out and never putting it on the board.
I know. We'll get to that next time. Next time you come over. So what are your favorite things to do with friends? Terry, I'll start with you.
Always talking. It doesn't matter what we're doing, we just need to be talking. And so I have friends who know to never ask me to go to the movies because I don't want to. Never ask me to, I don't want to do anything that takes me away from talking and connecting. So I will do whatever that is.
Let's all do this together. We're gonna
Terry loves
talk.
talking. No way. But I think all women love talking, right? I think we get rejuvenated through chatting and connecting. And I really believe one of my most fun things is just like going out to brunch. You know?
I love
and
brunch.
having a girls' brunch.
Food with talking.
And eating and talking. My husband says all the time, he's like, when are you going to be back? I'm like, it'll be like 3 hours later.
He's like, you're having one meal. I'm like, no, you understand. We have to talk through everything. Totally. I love that.
When guys think girls are complicated, I'm like, no, food, interaction. connection, we're good. We're good to go. Yeah.
Totally.
But I'm an experienced girl, so I actually like to bond with friends through travel and just fun experiences as well. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. You need to have like a travel-friendly friend.
Let's go.
Are we all travel friendly?
I now am getting the travel bug, I have to say.
Finally.
So, yeah, finally.
Good, let's
so
do it.
I just have to have somebody to watch my pup Bella, and then we'll be all set. Or
I'll
I can
bring my
her.
dog.
Totally, that's true. Yeah, I would
Go
love that.
camping.
You know, do you ever feel like you can have enough friends? I feel like I've been through this in my life where my life is so full. I'm so grateful. But I kind of feel like, you know, bringing on another friend, like the friendships that I have with all three of you, I mean, they're deep friendships. They take effort. They take work. We work to, you know, together to evolve.
Right,
and
right.
we put in our time and energy to make the friendship amazing, you know? So sometimes I feel like, you know what, I'm going to be obviously nice to everyone, but I don't know if I'm ready to take on that level of commitment. What do you think?
You know, what I think about that is that at this point in my life, you know, I'm married, I have kids, it's like the time gets shorter and shorter. And so I think that I really pick and choose who has the privilege of being in the inner sanctum of my life. I have many friends, I have many acquaintances, and I love that. And I love having, I'm such a group girl, I love group stuff, but I really think that I'm very choosy to a degree about who am I going to pour that energy into? Because an amazing friendship doesn't just fall out of the sky.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Like all relationships, it's work that I love to do, but it's work.
Absolutely. I agree. Ladies, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that like it's layers for me. It's like, to your point, inner sanctum. Like the women that I go to when I'm like on the floor crying and I need to call somebody, right? Because my husband doesn't always do it, right? But yeah, and then I do believe in like the other layers of friendship, right? Like the acquaintances, and because I feel like when you're connecting with people that may not even be in your inner sanctum, they're bringing something special into your life that you may not already have. And so, you know, I'll call up the friend that, you know, loves art. Yeah. And I'm not like the bestest friend with, but I'm going to go to the Met with them because they bring that to my life. And that's amazing. And I think that that's nice to have those layers of friendship where you can call them up and be like, hey, I want to do this thing and you love it too. Let's do it together.
Totally. I get that. Like picking and choosing which friends are good for. Like, you know, I'm not the friend you're going to go to a bar with because I don't really drink. So why don't you go to the bar with me? Yeah, I'm not into like hardcore.
We're going to take you clubbing tonight.
Maybe after this show. We're having so much fun.
You're changing. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there are select few girls that I would like hold their hair when they're vomiting. Yeah. And beyond that, it's like, we're, you know, when you run into danger, I think is when you expect someone to be your everything. And I think we're also multifaceted. It is great, like Kavita said, like you have the friend that you'll reluctantly go clubbing with or shopping with or whatever. And I think, but for a select few, you can't spread yourself too thin. You need
so I think with what Natalie said, we're just going to say it's the vomiting test.
Yeah.
So you can think about
You're going to hold her hair.
You'll hold my I want to hold all your hair. I'm just telling you.
Me too.
Would you hold
I
my
would hold your hair.
We're good.
I would hope that you guys don't vomit, but I would hold your hair if you do.
Kavita's the more responsible one out of all of us. Actually, Kavita, this brings me to my next question. In terms of, you know, you're saying the one thing that made me think of this is you're talking about not expecting all of your things from one person. And that makes me think of romantic relationships. And since you are our romantic relationship expert on stage today, I want to know, you know, how do you balance romantic relationships and friendships? Yeah, go ahead. I was going to give you a story, but just go right in.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go in.
Yeah, I think it's a great question because I think all of us have been there where we find that man and we're like so obsessed, right?
And still waiting.
Okay, well, you know, some of you are on your way there, but you'll experience this where you're like, I want to spend all my time with that person, right? And especially in the beginning, right? Especially in the beginning, it's just natural. And what starts to happen is your friends start to say to you, I don't see you anymore. You're always with your boyfriend or this guy, and I don't know you anymore, right? And my philosophy around that is that you really, even in the beginning, need to keep friendships and your romantic relationship equal. And I know that that's a little bit of a balance in the beginning because you're trying to get to know this guy. You want to be, you know, spending time available and all that. But he needs to know that you have a life, first of all. And women in general, they sometimes get sucked in. And when you get sucked in the beginning, it's hard to get sucked out of that, right? And
because you're training them in the beginning.
Exactly.
What to expect from you.
Exactly.
And if you're available 24/7 and your friends are like 19th on the list, they're like, whatever, you didn't have any friends when I met you.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And then, you know, I just kind of
Training
put you
them.
on
I love this. Men are always compared to dogs.
well, not training, but it's just like,
It
it's
is.
like, you know, we're figuring out what to expect from them, and they're trying to figure out what to expect from us. And I always say, like, if the guy didn't have a life and he was all up in your grill all the time, how would that feel? You'd be like, I don't want to hang with
Not
you.
sexy.
Yeah, it's not,
Right?
it's
At
not
all.
sexy. That is exactly the way to put it. It is not sexy.
Yeah, and so we don't want to be
We need
that.
to have a life. I
We
love
need to
that.
have a life.
That's
And
really
so
good advice.
keeping the balance between the two, even in the beginning, is super
so
important.
crucial. I love that.
great advice.
Well, before we go, I'm having so much fun talking to you ladies. I'm like,
know.
we could
Go.
just do
Can we just move
all
to your
this-
dressing room?
We will. We will after the show, for sure. Well, the last question I want to ask you really quick. Do you think you can be friends with men? I had a friend that I was friends with for like 13 years, so I thought you could be friends with men, but I think sometimes it can get a little tricky. Do you ladies think that it can get tricky, or do you think that you can actually achieve that? Natalie, let's start with you.
I think, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on TV, but
We'll find
we'll find out if there's a beep. I have no problem being friends with men because I don't want to boink every man that I'm around. But I have found that men aren't at, you know, they have a harder time because
Like
in the back of their
separating
head
the
or in the front of their
attraction.
head,
Yeah.
they want to boink you.
Okay.
So I think after a while, if that phase,
like
it can
the
develop.
boink.
Point and the
visual.
visual.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're really good at
stepped
visuals,
into a new
Natalie.
territory on Naturally Beautiful.
I'm more a visual point, but I didn't. Okay.
Okay, I get that. All right.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts are yes and no.
Okay.
It's a yes and no. I have friendships too with men,
Yeah.
and they've evolved over time.
Sure.
And there's always been a point at which either I wasn't interested, or I was interested, or he was interested and he wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And there's always been that, right, with every guy friend that I've had on some level. But if you can make it through those, I think you can absolutely have guy friends. And things do change when you find your husband
partner.
or your partner.
that's
It does shift.
Yeah.
However, that's okay.
Yeah, they stop becoming your friend. They know you're taken.
Well, yeah, but yes and no, because I still have guy friends that are,
Right,
you
right,
know, we
right.
talk
Yeah.
still, and
Totally
we're
get
close.
that. All right, well, we got to wrap up soon.
Yeah,
so
great.
Terry, tell me. Tell me what you
Just
think.
totally agree with you, Kavitha, that it's yes and no.
Yeah.
And I think that once you're married,
Yeah.
if you're really solid in your marriage, the men who are interested in you and were hoping that you were going to have sex with them and realize now that you're not going to,
nicer way to say it.
will not be your friends.
Right. Yeah.
When that is off the table, you know exactly who had an ulterior motive and who didn't.
Totally.
So,
I get that.
yep.
This was so much
Oh,
fun.
so fun.
I love it. Well, thank you to all of you for being here. And next, how our friendships impact our health. We'll be right back.